Beyond 3D.
Hello, happy holidays, and welcome once again to Beyond 3D. Clint, happy holidays to you, and how are you going today?
Merry Christmas, Matt.
Yeah, Merry Christmas as well. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all those fun things that most people are saying are politically incorrect these days. We don't believe in that. We believe in celebrating people's beliefs, their faiths, and we believe in allowing people to express themselves the way they want to instead of the way the government may want them to. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everyone out there. Let's see. Being that it's the Christmas holidays and there are a lot of things going on and everybody is so busy at Christmas time, we're going to keep it short and sweet this week, and we have something special planned for you at the end of this broadcast that we think you really will love. But we need to see what's going on in our world right now. So, Clint, how about it?
Can I just stop and pat you on the back, because you came up with a marvelous suggestion to have a tradition that whenever we do a Christmas show that we play this particular surprise that you've got lined up for the listeners tonight. So I'm really excited about it, because the first time I heard it, I think I was probably about 8 years old, and it frightened the living bejesus out of me.
And quite frankly, the reason I did it is because my wife remembers, and she was a kid, the same thing happening, listening to this, and everyone knows it, especially here in Australia, so it's really, really going to be fun as we go through that. But for now, news-wise and everything else like that, we'll keep it light as possible. We have a few topics we'd like to discuss, and then we'll get into it.
Not CERN.
Not CERN?
No, they've monopolised enough of my time this year.
Oh, but it's not a problem, really.
Although, with what? I'm not going to talk about the buggery.
No, you can talk about it. Come on.
Oh, you mentioned time travel earlier.
Yes, I did.
Now, do you want to tell me something about that? Because I've got a little theory on time travel, and I reckon that my theory might have something to do with how it actually works.
Well, with time travel, I was listening to a fellow American do a radio interview, and it intrigued me listening to him because of his background and what he had gone through. One of the things that I found really interesting was this was a physicist who was not in any way, shape, or form poo-pooing or bad-mouthing anyone talking about time travel. In fact, he is actually looking at building a time travel machine.
Did you not tell me that it had happened, or that he had successfully managed to work out the formula for this?
The thing with scientists is it has to be relevant, and it has to be repeatable, provable, and it has to meet certain criteria. So what he did was he looked at Einstein's theories, and he expounded upon those and came up with a theory himself. And what he was talking about in his theory was actually how you can use lasers to make a ring out of a laser so it can actually go back on itself and you can actually move forward and backward in time.
They have one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called CERN.
Really?
Look, this is my problem with time travel. Okay. It's not the father-grandfather scenario. It's the fact that, now, Matt, just do me a favor. Just go with this for a second.
Will do.
And answer yes or no.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
If I was standing with my time machine on top of, let's pick a high altitude somewhere in Australia. Just random, throw one out there.
Oh, high altitude. What do you consider high altitude? That's fine. You're on the top of Uluru.
No, can't do Uluru. And I'll tell you why I can't do Uluru, because it's been there for a long time. So let's do Eureka Tower in Melbourne.
Fair enough.
That's a very, very tall tower.
80 plus stories.
I've got my time machine with me.
Yep.
It's portable, like most of them are.
Yep.
I'm on top of the Eureka Tower. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I've turned my time machine on, and I've gone back 30 years.
Right.
Okay. When I arrive in, 1985. When I arrive in 1985, I'm no longer standing on top of Eureka Sky Deck, am I?
True. You got a long way to fall.
No, Matt, you promised me true or false.
True.
So I'm suspended in midair. True.
Yes, you would be.
I would be, wouldn't I?
You would.
Now, here's the catcher. If I decided to activate my time machine on the 1st of January in 1985, and I went Oh, sorry. What was the date? 1st of January 2015. Let's say 1st of January 2016.
Right.
I've activated my time machine.
Yep.
And I've gone back 30 years in the past.
Right.
So I've arrived 1986.
1986.
1986. Not just would the Eureka sky deck that I'm standing on no longer be there, but if we were to envisage the planet Earth suspended in space in an XYZ coordinate somewhere within the universe, the planet, according to my theory, the planet must be in the exact same position XYZ in the universe, and not just in the same position, but rotated in the same spot. Because if you think about it, the Earth is not just rotating around the sun and moving through the universe, but it's rotating as well. So if I went back in a time machine in the middle of summer, I would not arrive I would arrive in the same XYZ coordinate in the solar system in winter. Let's say I went back 6 months and I arrived in winter, but suddenly the planet is no longer on that side of the sun in that XYZ coordinate that I'm arriving at, is it?
It's something you'd have to think about.
I have thought about it a lot and tried to expand my mind. It's not just a matter of going back in time. It's a matter of space and distance and your position in the universe as well. All that stuff has to be configured.
Which is why, if you were building a time machine, it would be extremely expensive, number one. You'd really have to have the physics behind you, number two. And you would have to take into account all of those variables.
CERN.
Back to it. Anyway, we were listening to Professor Ronald Mallett talk about what he was doing. Now, he wanted to go back and build a time machine basically because personal reasons, and one of those personal reasons was he wanted to go back and talk to his father, who had died when he was 10, which I find very interesting.
You know what? That's a fantastic motivation. You know, that there's greater motivation there to make that succeed than somebody who was offered a lot of money by a corporation. Yeah.
But he also has to look at the practicality of it, and CERN cost $10 billion.
Yeah, keep going.
And the rest to build?
10 billion is is the information that they provide to the public. That's
Right.
not technically what's off the books.
So what you're looking at, he's talking about spending only about $500 million to do what he needs to do with ring lasers and to prove his theories.
Well, if we get a chance to talk to him in the new year.
In the new year, I'm going to make it a point to send him an email so we can possibly get him on the show, because I think it would be really fascinating to talk to a person who has a scientific background and who is opened enough to be able to say, look, I'm trying to do something that is in the realm of science fiction for some people, but the science is there to back up what he's trying to do. He has the formula there. It has been peer-reviewed. The science is there in different languages, not just in English. They've done it in Chinese, they've done it in Taiwanese and things along those lines, and quite frankly, the formula has been validated. So based upon that, I think it is a really good idea for us to try our best to see if we can get him on the show, or at least look up a little bit more of his research and see exactly how far along he has come. One thing I will say, because you just mentioned it before, and I think it's very important, anytime you have a project that is going to cost $500 million, I can guarantee you big business is going to have to be involved in some way, shape, or form.
I can guarantee you that if this man is successful, he will disappear. Literally. Or either that, or he'll hang around long enough to check out his GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because he was even talking about it. He says you can go forward in time quicker and easier than you could go into the past.
Now, how did he work that out? Obviously through mathematics and physics.
The mathematics behind it. But then he also stated something, there's a sort of a paradox there, and he said, well, this is the thing. He gets to the point where you can actually go forward in time. You send a message forward in time. In other words, what are they doing at CERN right now? They're able to prove that you can send a particle forward. Once the particle or the message got there, being that you in this timeline have not created a way to receive that message yet or to go into the past, you'd still have to wait for the science to catch up, so you would actually have the machine to be able to send that message backward in time to prove that you did send it forward in time. Interesting little paradox there.
That's like a wonderful sign I saw a couple of months ago that said, if you're interested in time travel, meet here last Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Not hard, but not easy. So he was also talking about Back to the Future. And the fact that they went back to 1955, and that was significant for him because that was the year his father died. That was also the year that Einstein died. So he's very motivated to get this thing working, and I know for a fact he has the backing, or at least the initial backing, to basically build what needs to be built.
Now, you've shown me the mathematical equation for this,
Yep.
So I think we'll put this up on Facebook tonight.
It'll be up on the Facebook page tonight, and everybody can look at that, and all you scientists out there, geeks and ungeeks, can take a look at it and see if it makes sense to you.
Now, I'll tell you who is going to wish that they got a time travel machine for Christmas. My children.
Okay,
Because I bought them a goat for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's not a goat where they get to go out in the backyard and pet it and feed it. It's a goat for an impoverished family in another country.
Yes.
I made the decision this year that my children could all get one present less.
Yep.
And with that money, I bought a goat from Care Australia
that's a good
online.
idea.
It was really cheap, Matt, believe it or not. It was $45 to buy a goat for a family overseas, and that provides the family with milk, and they can sell the milk to get money for medicine as well. $45 was nothing. It was nothing. One less present for my kids, and you know what? They're not going to miss that one less present.
And you're helping a family.
And you're helping a family.
Oh, that's great. That's the way to do it.
So if anybody's interested, it's not too late. If you've told somebody this Christmas that you've left the present at home and you technically haven't bought it yet, go online onto Care Australia and buy a goat for a family overseas. It was a wonderful thing to do.
So what we'll do is, it's Saturday night, but we'll put that up on the Facebook. We'll put a link up for that on the Facebook page as well.
Sounds great.
Yeah, good thing to do.
Now, what's this? I'm going to let you introduce it, Matt.
Okay. I heard a long time ago from my wife about a program that she heard when doing camps. And a similar story to yours about how they would all sit outside and listen to this, and it would really get people thinking, and the kids would really be into it and listening to the music and things like that. And it was, and I had never seen it. I had never heard it in the United States. It was really odd. I know the program, who did it, but the fact of the matter is, and I know the actor who did the narration, but didn't hear it done this way ever until I got to Australia. And it was really interesting to me as well, because the voice is one of those Welsh voices that just exudes such enthusiasm and such vision. You can picture everything that's going on as he speaks. So what we're talking about is War of the Worlds.
Now, I heard this for the first time when I was 5 years old. My best friend played it in his bedroom. It frightened me, very much so, and that was the middle of the day. And he had a book that you could look at the pictures that came with the record. Fast forward probably another 12 months later, I went on a primary school camp, and at night time we were all sitting around the campfire, and the teachers decided to put it on, and they were playing it through the bush around a fire through these giant speakers with about 60 frightened primary school kids. We were beside ourselves. And it's traditionally, it's one of those things, Matt, where I think it was produced and made in the UK, and then it made its way down. It was released in Australia on record and then cassette, and then after that, obviously, it went to CD. So I'm not surprised that it skipped the States. But
It did, but
fantastic, and I'd like to make this a Beyond 3D tradition if we could, Matt.
That'd be fun. That'd be absolutely fantastic.
Every Christmas we play this. So
it'd be fantastic.
Would you like to introduce it?
Everybody sit back, relax, and take a listen to the great Richard Burton.
Take the phone off the hook, would you say?
Yeah, you can do that as well. Richard Burton doing War of the Worlds. You will absolutely love it. From us to you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves.
No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us.
Wow, what a thing to listen to on Boxing Day night.
That's the way to do it. Quite frankly, it's a fantastic recording, and we hope you all really enjoyed it. And as we said, it's Boxing Day right now, but it's the holiday season, so enjoy your holidays from us. We will see you again in the new year.
And can I just take a moment, Matt, to thank all of our guests this year. This year we had in Eric von Daniken and Mary Rodwell, Duncan
Rhodes,
and
Damien Knott. Oh my goodness! And the great,
crazy, enigmatic, powerful.
Absolutely.
He's out there.
Anathema.
Enigma. Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Thank you so much for the time that you've given us here on Beyond 3D. And with that, Matt, just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and stay safe, and see you all in the new year.
Take care of yourselves.
Just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.